who is this small boy, how he was able to kill this big demon Agasura. I want to know. I want to test this boy. Then he came uh, Brahma came, and Brahma take away all the cows, calves, the gopas, and then Krishna expanded himself with all cowherd boys, all calves, and after that, when these calves and these cowherd boys went to their homes, their mothers felt so much so happy. They are not they are getting more happy than their own son or their own calf. Why? Because Krishna himself came in the form of their own son or their own calf. So much ecstasy. Why this happened? Because all the cowherd boys, all the cowherd mothers, the gopis, want to have Krishna as their own son. They always meditate. Hey Krishna, how can I serve you? When will you come to me? Only Yashoda Maya is getting opportunity. When can I serve? Krishna understood all the gopis' mood. Krishna will take our mood. Bhavagrahi Janardana. He will reciprocate as per our mood. Eyatamam prapatyante tam tataiva bhajamyaham. If you approach Krishna with Vasalya Bhava, he will reciprocate that. If you approach with him as a Madhurya Bhava, he will reciprocate that. If you want to cheat Krishna, he will be the cheater. So here, all the gopis want to have Krishna as their own son. To fulfill their desire, Krishna expanded himself and went to their homes, accepted all their services. They were so happy, so happy. And Brahma is thinking, oh, I took away all gopas, all calves. What Krishna is going to answer to their parents? How Krishna is going to handle the situation? But Krishna, when Brahma came back and see what is going on, he didn't see any difference. All the boys and all the cows are going as usual. Then Brahma understood. This boy is not an ordinary boy. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With my power or with my creating power, I misunderstood. I want to go and ask forgiveness. See, we need to remember one thing. Our intentions should be good. Sometimes our intentions will be good, our actions may not be good. Sometimes our actions will be good, our intentions are not good. If our intentions and actions are not good towards Supreme Personality of Godhead, we need to go and ask forgiveness. Not only Supreme Personality of Godhead, anyone, any higher authority, we should go and ask forgiveness. That is the mature way of understanding the mistake and overcome that mistake. We should not hesitate to ask forgiveness if you commit any mistake towards anyone. That is the matured way of doing that one. Sometimes with ahankara, with false ego, even though they did mistake, they will not come and ask forgiveness. They will think like that, oh, I am supreme. Who will question me? I am like that. They has to change. All these mentalities will be there. In our day-to-day life also, especially if you are dealing Vaishnavas, if you feel with your actions or with your intentions, if you feel anybody got hurt or anybody got disturbed because of your actions, immediately go and ask forgiveness. If they don't accept or if they don't forgive you, take their dust from their shoes and put on your forehead so that that offense will be forgiven. So here, after Brahma understood his mistake, he came to Lord Krishna and asking the forgiveness. This is what we should do. That's why whenever we are serving our spiritual master or any senior Vaishnava, we will ask knowingly, unknowingly, if I commit any mistake, please forgive us. And also, after we uh, do any upacharas or any worship, we'll ask forgiveness, Lord. Kriyahinam, mantrahinam. If I do any mistakes while pronouncing mantras or while offering anything, please forgive me. So, we need to develop this attitude. We should not hesitate to ask forgiveness um, if anything went wrong. That is the very matured way of doing that one. So now we'll read one paragraph each of us. Then we will discuss what points we can uh, extract and how can we apply. Application is very important, especially all these Krishna books pastimes. Each pastime will teach one lesson. It will bring one transformation with us. After reading, if there is no transformation within us, then there is no use of such reading. It is srama eva hi kevalam. It's only hard labor. So we need to understand what lesson Lord is trying to teach through His Leela. We need to extract that and we need to apply in our day-to-day life. Then you will become a Vaishnava. Vaishnava means not wearing tilaka or not wearing dhoti kurta. Vaishnava means he will wear all the qualities as a jewelry. All 23 qualities of a Vaishnava will make him as a Vaishnava, not is a physical attire. So, from this Krishna book, each pastime is teaching us one lesson or one quality. We need to accept it and adopt it in our day to day life. So, today we'll learn how to offer our prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead through this pastime. Okay. Brahma said, my dear Lord, you are the only worshipable Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, I I am offering my humble obeisances and prayers just to please you. Your bodily features are the color of clouds filled with water. You are glittering with a silver electric aura emanating from your yellow garments. Yeah. Can someone read next paragraph?
Let me offer my respectful repeated obeisance unto the son of Maharaj Nanda, who is standing before me with the conch shell, earrings, and peacock feather on his head. His face is beautiful. He is wearing a helmet and is garlanded by a forest flowers. He stands with the morsel of a food in his hand. He is decorated with the cane, a buffalo horn, bugle, and flute. He stands before me with the small lotus feet.
Yeah.
Can I read next paragraph?
Let's discuss these two paragraphs and then we'll go. Here, we need to understand few points from these words. Brahma himself is telling that you are the only worshipable Supreme Lord. It is very important.
Hmm.
Sometimes, if you are worshipping Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, some people will then question, hey, why are you worshipping only Krishna? Why not other 33 crores of demigods? Other 3 crores of uh, demigods. Here, Brahma himself is telling that you are the worshipable Supreme Lord. In Brahma Samhita, Krishna told that Iswaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Iswaraha Paramaha Krishna. You are the Supreme Controller. So we should take, not to, we are telling, not Prabhupada telling, or not I am telling, or not Vyasa Maharshi is telling. The creator of this whole universe, Brahma, is telling that you are the worshipable Supreme Lord. And here again, he is glorifying his beautiful form. Some Mayavadis, some Nirakaravadis may argue that Lord doesn't have a form. Lord means some light or some energy, something, they will tell their own philosophy. So here, Brahma himself is telling that your body is like a cloud color, and your form is so beautiful, and you are wearing so and so ornaments. That means Lord has a form. Why we need to think like Lord doesn't have a form, is a light? Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Vigraha means a form is there. And Brahma is glorifying here. So, yeah, continue next paragraph. Someone else. We'll read one paragraph each of us. Then, if nobody is there, we'll take more turns. I need more volunteers.
If somebody is not ready, I will read right now.
My dear Lord,
Oh, okay.
people may say that I am the master of all Vedic knowledge and I am supposed to be the creator of this universe. But it has been proved now that I cannot understand you, who are present before me just like a child. You are playing with your boyfriends and cows, which might imply that you do not even have sufficient education. You are appearing just like a village boy, carrying your food in your hand and searching for your calves. And yet, there is so much difference between your body and mine that I cannot estimate the potency of your body. As I have already stated in the Brahma Samhita, your body is not material.
Yeah, next.
In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the body of the Lord is all spiritual. There is no difference between the Lord's body and his self. Each limb of his body can perform the actions of all the others. The Lord can see with his hands, he can hear with his eyes, he can accept offerings with his legs, and he can create with his mouth. Hare Krishna.
So here it is saying that Brahma himself is telling that I am not the creator, you are the creator. Actually, Krishna is a primary creator and Brahma is a secondary creator. Just like that, we will say, who built this house, who made this house? Immediately we'll say, I made it, I made it. But who gave the wood, who gave the sand, or who gave the metals, all these things are
It's a
given
Krishna.
by Krishna. We are all secondary or third creator or something like that. But the primary creator is Krishna. Sometimes we'll not realize that. Oh, I created, I did this, I constructed, I made all these kind of philosophies we tell. Here, Brahma himself is telling that foolishly I am thinking like that I am the creator, but you are the primary creator. I am the secondary creator. And here, further explaining that Krishna's body is eternal, made up of with a spirit soul. What is the difference between our body and Krishna's body? Our body is material, made up of with 5 elements. What is that? Earth, ether, water, fire, and earth, ether, water, fire, and ether, Panchabhutas. So these five elements made up of our body is made up of these five elements. These five elements are material, and once this body is made up with these five elements, again it will mix into those five elements after death. But Krishna's body is not like our body. Krishna's body is eternal, permanent body. Sat, Sat, Chit. Sat means eternal. So his body is a spiritual. That body will not perish like our bodies. Our bodies will have birth date, death date. Manufacturing date and expiry date will be there in this material world. Any object you take in this material world, there will be two things: manufacture date and expiry date. Even for us also. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is Anadir Adir Govinda. He is Adi. He is the beginning and he is the end. It doesn't have any beginning or it doesn't have any end. He is the one for everything. Yeah, someone else, other volunteer. Brahma continued.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
We'll encourage others to read. Anyone can volunteer if you can.
They're
Okay.
taking so long to decide.
Okay, go ahead, Mataji. No, just I
Brahma
want to
continued,
encourage everyone to read so that.
your appearance as cowherd child is for benefit of the devotee. And although I have committed an offense at your lotus feet by stealing away your boys and cows, I can understand that you have bestowed your mercy upon me. This shows your transcendental quality of being very affectionate towards your devotee. But in spite of your great affection for me, I cannot estimate the potency of your bodily activities. It is to be understood that when I, Lord Brahma, the Supreme Personality of this universe, cannot estimate the childlike body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then what to speak of others? And if I cannot estimate the spiritual potency of your childlike body, then what can I understand about your transcendental pastimes? Therefore, as it said that in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who can understand a little of the transcendental pastimes, appearance, and disappearance of the Lord becomes immediately eligible to enter into the kingdom of God after quitting the material body. This statement is confirmed in Vedas, where it is stated simply by understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can overcome the chain of repeated birth and death. I therefore recommend that people should not try to understand you by their speculative knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, here they're telling that I cannot understand your supremacy. Brahma is telling that. I'm not able to understand your child body. I'm not able to understand your complete potencies. Why? Because before Brahma, Krishna is there. Aham Adrihi Devanam. Krishna told that I am the Adi. I am the beginning of everything. So, because Brahma doesn't know what happened before him. So that's why he don't understand what is the complete potency of Krishna. And also, Brahma is telling that whoever understand about yourself, your transcendental pastimes, they can easily enter into the kingdom of Godhead. In 8.6, Bhagavad Gita, it is telling that Janma karma chime divyam evam eviti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti suvarjuna. whoever understood about the transcendental pastime, Divyam. The Krishna's pastimes are Divyam. Our pastimes are not Divyam. Krishna's pastimes are Divyam. Whoever understood, they can easily go back to Godhead. Yeah, continue. Anybody volunteers or else Niru Mataji?
The best process for understanding
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
you is to submissively give up the speculative process and try to hear about you either from yourself or you have given statements in the Bhagavad Gita and many similar Vedic literatures, or from a realized devotee who has been sheltered, who has taken shelter at your lotus feet. One has to hear from a devotee without speculation. One does not even need to change his worldly position. He simply has to hear your message, although you are not understandable by the material senses. Simply by hearing about you, one can gradually conquer the nascence of misunderstanding by or by your own grace only. You become revealed to a devotee. You are unconquerable by any other means. Speculative knowledge without trace of devotional service is simply a useless waste of time in the search for you. Devotional service is so important that even a little attempt can raise one to the highest perfectional platform. One should not, therefore, neglect this auspicious process of devotional service and take to the speculative method. By the speculative method, one may gain partial knowledge of your cosmic manifestation, but it is not possible to understand you, the origin of everything. The attempt of a person who are interested only in speculative knowledge is simply wasted labor. Like the labor of a person who attempts to gain something by beating an empty husk of rice paddy. A little quality of paddy, a little quantity of paddy can be husked by the grinding wheel, and one can gain grains of rice, some grains of rice. But if the skin of the paddy has already been beaten by the grinding wheel, there is no future grain in getting even a huge quality of the husk. It is simply useless labor.
Yeah. So here further he is telling that to understand Krishna, we need to approach a bona fide spiritual master or anyone, any senior Vaishnava who is trained under a nice bona fide spiritual master. We should not learn this knowledge in a speculative way. We don't need to speculate. It's a science. It's a given by disciplined succession. We need to go, surrender, and learn. But if you do speculative knowledge, you cannot understand. It's waste of time. Sramayeva hi kevalam. So we need to go in a Guru Parampara and then we need to understand about the Supreme Lord. Okay, next. Anyone can read.
My dear Lord, there are
Go ahead, Prabhuji.
My dear Lord, there are many instances in the history of human society where a person, after failing to achieve the transcendental platform, engaged himself in devotional service with his body, mind, and words, and thus attained the highest perfectional state of entering into your abode. The process of understanding you by speculation or mystic meditation are all useless without devotional service. One should therefore engage himself in your devotional service, even in his worldly activities, and one should always keep himself near you by process of hearing and chanting your transcendental glories. Simply by being attached to hearing and chanting your glories, one can attain the highest perfectional stage of entering into your kingdom. If a person therefore always keeps in touch with you by hearing and chanting your glories and offers the results of his work for your satisfaction only, he very easily and happily attains entrance into your supreme abode. You are realizable by persons who have cleansed their hearts of all contamination. This cleansing of the heart is made possible by chanting and hearing the glories of your Lordship.
Wonderful. So here further Brahmaji is telling that how to attain the Supreme Lord's abode by performing devotional service and engaging our mind, body and words completely in the service of Krishna. So how can we do that? Engaging our body, mind and words. Mind can be engaged by chanting or by meditating of the Supreme Lord. The body can be engage your body in the activities of Krishna Seva. The words can be engaged by preaching or by chanting. Always if you glorify Krishna, automatically our body, our senses will be glorified, will be purified, and then we will be eligible to go back to Godhead. सर्वपादि विनुर्मुक्तं तत्परत्वेन निर्मलं ऋषिकेन ऋषिकेश सेवनं bhaktiruchyate. Bhakti means we need to give up all our designations and engage all senses in Rishikesha, the Supreme Lord. Automatically it will be purified, and then will be our bhakti will be increased. Yeah, next paragraph. Any volunteers?
The Lord is all pervading, as it is stated by the Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Everything is sustained by me, but at the same time, I am not in everything. Since the Lord is all pervading, there is nothing existing without his knowledge. The all pervasive nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can never be within the limited knowledge of living entity. Therefore, a person who has attained steadiness of the mind by fixing the mind on the lotus feet of the Lord is able to understand the Supreme Lord to some extent. It is the business of the mind to wander over varied subject matter for the sense gratification. Therefore, only person who always engages the senses in the service of the Lord can control the mind and be fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. This concentration of the mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord is called samadhi. Until one reaches the stage of samadhi or trance, he cannot understand the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There may be some philosopher or scientist who can study the cosmic nature from the atom to atom. They may be so advanced that they can count the atomic composition of the cosmic atmosphere, or all the planets and stars in the sky, or even the shining molecular particles of the sun, or of the stars and other luminaries in the sky. But it is not possible to count the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Wow.
So Lord has that many wonderful qualities, and Lord is spread all over. Annantarastam paramanu chayantarastam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Krishna is pervaded everywhere. Krishna knows everything, every nook and corner, but we don't know. Even though we are expert in computers or experts in doctor, we know only a little bit of knowledge of that particular piece. But Krishna knows everything. And what is meant by samadhi? Samadhi means bury a day hole and go into that hole and close yourself. No, that is not the samadhi. Samadhi means completely absorb your mind in the thoughts of Krishna, in the service of Krishna. That is called samadhi. So if you keep yourself busy and if you perform all activities for the pleasure of Krishna, automatically everyone will be in samadhi state. Okay, next paragraph. As described
As
in
de-
the... Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu Ramakrishna Guru.
Okay, Prabhu. As described in the beginning of Vedanta Sutra, the Supreme Person is the origin of all qualities. He is generally called Nirguna. Nirguna means whose qualities are beyond estimation. Guna means quality and Nir means beyond estimation. But impersonalists interpret this word Nirguna as having no quality. Because they are unable to estimate the qualities of the Lord in transcendental realization, they conclude that the Supreme Lord has no qualities. But that is actually not the position. The real position is that He is the original source of all qualities. All qualities are emanating constantly from Him. How, therefore, can a limited person count the qualities of the Lord? One may estimate the qualities of the Lord at one moment, but the next moment the qualities have increased. So it is not possible to make an estimation of the transcendental qualities of the Lord. He is therefore called Nirguna.
Yeah, next one also continue, Prabhuji.
One should not uselessly labor in a mental speculation to estimate the Lord's qualities. There is no need of adopting the speculative method or exercising the body to attain mystic yoga perfection. One should simply understand that the distress and happiness of this body are destined. There is no need to try to avoid the distress of this bodily existence or to attempt to achieve happiness by different types of exercises. The best course is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead with body, mind, and words, and always be engaged in His service. This transcendental labor is fruitful, but other attempts to understand the absolute truth are never successful. Therefore, an intelligent man does not try to understand the absolute truth by speculative or mystic power. Rather, he engages in devotional service and depends on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knows that whatever may happen to the body is due to his past fruitive activities. If one lives such a simple life in devotional service, then automatically he inherits the transcendental abode of the Lord. Actually, every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and a son of the Godhead. Each has the natural right to inherit and share the transcendental pleasures of the Lord, but due to the contract of manner, conditioned living entities have been practically disinherited. If one adopts the simple method of engaging himself in devotional service, automatically he becomes eligible to be freed from material contamination and elevated to the transcendental position of associating with the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. So the first the before paragraph is explaining about gunas. These Mayavadis, they cannot understand the scriptures properly. They are misunderstanding. Nirguna means his qualities are unlimited. If you are learning one quality, another 1,000 qualities are increasing. So in that sense, it is used in Nirguna, not like that he doesn't have a form, he doesn't have guna, or he doesn't have anything. So we should not take speculative methods. The next paragraph is explaining that if you speculate, you cannot understand. But if you engage yourself in Krishna service and if you follow the parampara, then automatically you will understand Supreme Lord and you can easily absorb in the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and you can be eligible to go back to Godhead in the abode of Krishna. Yeah, can someone volunteer next two paragraphs?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Lord Brahma presented himself to Lord Krishna as the most presumptuous living creature because he wanted to examine the wonder of his personal power. He stole the boys and calves of the Lord in order to see how the Lord would recover them. Now, Lord Brahma admitted that his attempt was most presumptuous, for he was attempting to test his energy before the person of original energy. Coming to his senses, Lord Brahma saw that although he was a very powerful living creature, in the estimation of all other living creatures within this material world, his power was nothing in comparison with the power and energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The scientists of the material world have invented wonders such as atomic weapons, and when tested in a city or some insignificant place on this planet, such powerful weapons created so called havoc. But if the atomic weapons are tested on the sun, what is their significance? They are insignificant there. Similarly, Brahma's stealing of the calves and boys from Sri Krishna may be a wonderful display of mystic power. But when Sri Krishna exhibited his expansive power in so many calves and boys and maintained them without effort, Brahma could understand that his own power was insignificant.
Yeah, continue next paragraph.
Brahma addressed Lord Krishna as Achyuta because the Lord is never forgetful of a little service rendered by his devotee. He is so kind and affectionate towards his devotees that a little service by them is accepted by him as a great deal. Brahma has certainly rendered much service to the Lord. As the Supreme Personality in charge of this particular universe, he is, without a doubt, a faithful servant of Krishna. Therefore, he could appease Krishna. He asked that the Lord understand him as a subordinate servant whose little mistake and impudence might be excused. He admitted that he was puffed up by his powerful position as Lord Brahma, because he is the qualitative incarnation of the mode of passion within this material world. This was natural for him, and therefore he committed the mistake. But Lord Brahma hoped that since he was, after all, Lord Krishna's subordinate, the Lord would kindly take compassion upon him and excuse him for his gross mistake.
Yeah. So here, Brahma want to test the power of Krishna. That's why he stolen calves and boys. But after that, he understood that he is a supreme power, and he asking forgiveness. Hey Krishna, with my foolishness, I did this one. In this whole material world, the Brahma is the first living entity and topmost living entity. He has complete knowledge. He himself is telling that I'm insignificant in front of Krishna. Why? Because from Krishna's expansion, Karnodaka Sai Vishnu, millions and millions of universes are emanating. For each universe, there will be one Brahma. So, like that, millions of Brahmas are there. All are expansions and expansions and expansions of Krishna. Brahma is a Gunavatara. So, is a part and parcel of Krishna. Is a minute expansion of Krishna. So, he understood that in front of Krishna, I am insignificant. Please forgive me with my ignorance. I did all these things. Yeah. Next two paragraphs, someone.
Lord Brahma realized his actual position. He is certainly the supreme teacher of this universe, in charge of the production of the material nature, consisting of complete material energy, false ego, sky, air, fire, water, and earth. Such a universe may be gigantic, but it can be measured just as we measure our body as a 7 spans. Generally, everyone's personal bodily measurement is calculated to be a 7 spans of his hand. This particular universe may appear as a very gigantic body, but it is nothing but the measurement of the 7 span of the Lord Brahma. Aside from this universe, there are unlimited other universes which are outside the jurisdiction of this particular Lord Brahma. Just as innumerable atomic infinitesimal fragment pass through the holes of screen window, so millions and trillions of universes in their seeding form are coming out from the bodily pores of Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu is a part of the plenary expansion of Krishna. Under these circumstances, although Lord Brahma is the supreme creature within this universe, what is his importance in the presence of the Lord Krishna?
Yeah, continue next paragraph.
Lord Brahma therefore compared himself to a little child within the womb of his mother. If the child within the womb of plays with his hands and legs, and while playing touches the body of the mother, is the mother offered with the child? Of course, she is not. Similarly, Lord Brahma may be very great personality, yet not only Brahma, but everything that be existing within the womb of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord energy is all pervading. There is no place in the creation where it is not acting. Since everything is existing within the energy of the Lord, the Brahma of this universe and the Brahma of the many other millions and trillions of universes are existing within the energy of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord is considered to be the mother, and everything existing within the womb of the mother is considered to be the child. And the good mother is never offended with the child, even if he touches the body of the mother by kicking his legs. Very nicely explained. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
So, Brahma, in this paragraph we already discussed. Brahma is the emanated, all universes are emanated from Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is also called as Karnodaka Sai Vishnu. And each universe Brahma will be there. And in this paragraph, Brahma is comparing himself. I'm like your child. If child hit child hits the mother with his legs, mother will not get offended. Similarly, with my foolishness I did, please forgive me. Yeah, go ahead. Next paragraph, someone.
Go ahead and read, Prabhuji. Nobody's
Hey, go ahead.
Lord Brahma then said that his birth was from the lotus flower, which is blossom from the navel of the Narayana after the dissolution of the 3 worlds. For all 3 planetary systems known as Brulok, Bhurvalok, and Sarvalok, the universe is divided into 3 divisions, namely Svarga, Maitreya, and Patala.
Patala.
These 3 plenary systems are merged into water at the time of dissolution. At this time, Narayana, a plenary portion of Krishna, lies down on the water and gradually a lotus stem grows from his navel. And from that lotus flower, Brahma is born. It is naturally concluded that the mother of Brahma is Narayana, because the Lord is the resting place of all the living entities after the dissolution of the universe. He is called Narayana. The word Nara means aggregate total of living entities, and Ayana means the resting place. The form of Garbhodaksai Vishnu is called Narayana. because he rests himself on that water. In addition, he is the resting place of all living creature. Besides that, Narayana is also present in everyone's heart, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. In that sense, also the Lord is Narayana, as Ayana means the source of knowledge as well as resting place. It is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that the remembrance of living entity is due to the presence of super soul within the heart. After changing the body, a living creature forgets everything of his past life, but because Narayana, the super soul, is present within his heart, he is reminded by him to act according to his past desire. Lord Brahma wanted to prove that Krishna is the original Narayana, that he is the source of Narayana, and that Narayana is not an exhibition of the external energy, Maya, but is an expansion of spiritual energy. The activities of the external energy or Maya are exhibited after the creation of his cosmic world, and the original spiritual energy of Narayana was acting before the creation. So the expansion of Narayana from Narayana to Karnodakshay Vishnu, from Karnodakshay Vishnu to the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, from the Garbhodakshay Vishnu to Karnodakshay Vishnu, and from the Karnodakshay Vishnu to everyone's heart are actually Krishna's expansion, manifestation of his spiritual energy. They are not conducted by the material energy. Therefore, they are not temporary. Anything conducted by the material energy is temporary, but everything executed by the spiritual energy is eternal.
Yeah. Here it is explaining that how Brahma came into this material world. So here, if you see this universal chart, here is the Krishna. Krishna lives in Goloka Vrindavan, and his expansions, 4 quadruple expansions, first quadruple, second quadruple expansions, and then from the second quadruple expansion, Karnodakasai Vishnu will come. He is the Karnodakasai Vishnu. From Karnodakasai Vishnu, so many universes will come. Like you see, so many these egg-shaped things. These are all universes. And after that, each universe, Garbhodakasai Vishnu will enter. Narayana, they told that, right? This is the Narayana. Garbhodakasai Vishnu is also called as Narayana. So when Garbhodakasai Vishnu enters, from the novel of Garbhodakasai Vishnu, this lotus stem will come. From the lotus flower, Brahma will come. And they end from the Garbhodakasai Vishnu. Once in this universe, if Garbhodakasai Vishnu is not entered, then this universe will not functioning. So once Garbhodakasai Vishnu enters, then functioning will start. And Brahma is the first living entity, he will create. And further from Garbhodakasai Vishnu, another expansion is Kshirodakasai Vishnu. This is the Kshirodakasai Vishnu. Kshirodakasai Vishnu will be there, every living entity as Paramatma, and he will maintain this whole universe. So, like this whole paragraph is explaining Karnodakasai Vishnu, Garbhodakasai Vishnu, Kshirodakasai Vishnu, how Brahmaji came into this material world. Yeah, continue. Next 3 paragraphs, someone.
Prabhuji, you have to change the screen.
Oh, you are not able to see? Okay. Okay, I'm sharing my whole desktop. Okay, go ahead.
Lord Brahma reconfirmed his statement establishing Krishna as the original Narayana. He said that the Lord's gigantic universal form is resting on the water known as Garbhodaka. He spoke as follows: the gigantic universal form is another manifestation of your energy. On account of his resting on the water, this universal form is also Narayana, and we are all within the womb of Narayana of this Narayana form. I see your different Narayana forms everywhere. I can see you on the water. I can feel you within my heart. And I can also see you before me now. You are the original Narayana. My dear Lord, in this incarnation, you have proved that you are the supreme controller of Maya. You remain within the cosmetic manifestation, and yet the whole creation is within you. This fact has already been proved by you when you exhibited the whole universal creation within your mouth before your mother, Yashoda. By your inconceivable potency of Yogamaya, you can effect such things without external help. My dear Lord Krishna, the whole cosmic manifestation that we are visualizing at present is all within your body. Yet I am seeing you outside and you are also seeing me outside. How can such things happen without being influenced by your inconceivable energy?
Yeah. So, again and again, he is telling that you are the supreme, I am insignificant. So, here is establishing the supremacy of Krishna. Whenever we go to Krishna, we should not immediately start our prayers or our forgivingness. First, we need to glorify. You are so great, you are so wonderful. Then slowly you can put your appeal. If you desire so, do this. So these are all about how he came, what is his energy. Yeah, can read this one. My conclusion is this paragraph, someone.
My conclusion is therefore that you are Supreme Soul, the absolute truth, and the Supreme Original Person. And although by your inconceivable transcendental potency, you have expanded yourself in so many Vishnu forms and also in the living entities and other energies. You are the Supreme One without a second, the Supreme Super Soul. The innumerable living entities are simply like a sparks of the original fire. Your Lordship, the conception of the Super Soul is impersonal is wrong because I see that you are an original person. Person with the poor fund of knowledge may think that because you are the son of Maharaja Nanda, you are not an original person, that you are born just like a human beings. They are mistaken. You are the actual original person. That is my conclusion. In spite of your being the son of Nanda, you are the original person. There is no doubt about it. You are the absolute truth, and you are not of this material darkness. You are the source of original Brahma Jyotir, as well as the material luminaries, the sun, moon, the stars. Your transcendental effulgence is identical with the Brahma Jyoti, as it described in a Brahma Samhita, and Brahma Jyotir is nothing but your personal body effulgence. There are many Vishnu incarnation and incarnation of your different qualities, but all these incarnations are not on the same level. You are the original lamp. Other incarnation may possess the same candle power as the original lamp, but the original lamp is the beginning of all light. And because you are not one of the creation of his material world, even after annihilations of this world, your existence as you are will continue.
Yeah. So he is summarizing, you are the Supreme Lord. Um, you are everything. All Brahma Jyoti is also emanating from you. So he's glorifying more and more. Here he's starting his offenses. Yeah, read this paragraph. Therefore, my dear Lord, I pray that.
Therefore, my dear Lord, I pray that I may be so fortunate that in this life or another life, whatever I may take my birth, I may be counted as a one of your devotee. Wherever I may be, I pray that I may be engaged in your devotional service. I do not even care what form of life I get in the future, because I can see that even in the form of cows and cowherd boys, the devotee are so fortunate to be always engaged in your transcendental loving service and association. Therefore, I wish to be one of them instead of such an exalted person as I am now, for I am full of ignorance. The gopis and cows of Vrindavan are so fortunate that have been able to supply their breast milk to you. Persons who are engaged in the performing a great sacrifice and offering many valuable goods in the sacrifice cannot attain the perfection of understanding you. But simply by devotional service, these innocent village women and cows are able to satisfy you with their milk. You have drunk their milk to satisfaction, yet you are never satisfied as much as by this. I lost the line. As much.
Engaged in performing sacrifices, I'm simply surprised, therefore, with the fortunate position of Maharaj Nanda, Mother Yashoda, cowherd men, gopis.
Cowhead men and gopis, because you, the supreme personality, Godhead, and absolute truth are existing there as their most intimate, lovable object. My dear Lord, no one can actually appreciate the good fortune of this resident of our Vrindavana. We are all demigods controlling the deities of the various senses of the living entities, and we are proud of enjoying such a privileges. But actually, there is no comparison between our position and the position of this fortunate resident of Vrindavana, because they are actually relishing your presence and enjoying your association of the dint of their sensory activities. We may be proud of being controllers of the senses, but here the residents of Vrindavana are so transcendental that they are not under our control. Actually, they are enjoying their senses through service to you. I shall therefore consider myself fortunate to be given a chance to take a birth in this land of Vrindavana in any of my future lives. I want to be.
So Brahmaji is saying that I am puffed up with my position, I am controller, but that is insignificant, because all these Vrajavasis enjoying your association, and they are taking ultimate pleasure, ultimate happiness. So please give me an opportunity to take birth in the land of Vrindavan, so that I can serve you, I can be with you, I can relish more of your pastimes. So how humbly is presenting. So Brahma repenting himself. I am not serving you, I am being puffed up. Being puffed up will not make Lords happy. But if you serve Lord, Lord will be happy. Later, Brahma, after realizing that Krishna gave an opportunity, in the next yuga, I am coming as a Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to become more humble and meek. You will take birth as a Haridas Thakura in a low class family, and you will chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 24/7, and you will get glorified by everyone as a humble devotee. So to fulfill Brahma's desire, Lord gave a special benediction to appear as a Namacharya Haridas Thakura. Yeah. So, yeah, read this paragraph.
Whatever is attractive within the cosmic manifestation is due to Krishna. Krishna is therefore the reservoir of all pleasure. The active principle of everything is Krishna, and and highly elevated transcendentalists see everything in connection with him. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is stated that a Mahabhagavat, or a highly advanced devotee, sees Krishna as the active principle in all moving and non moving entities. Therefore, he sees everything within this cosmic manifestation in relation to Krishna. For the fortunate person who has taken shelter of Krishna as everything, liberation is already there. He is no longer in the material world. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Whoever is engaged in the devotional service of Krishna is already on the Brahmabhut or spiritual platform. The very name Krishna suggests piety and liberation. Anyone who takes shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna enters the boat for crossing over the ocean of nescience. For him, this vast expanse of the material manifestation becomes as insignificant as the water in a calf's hoof print. Krishna is the shelter of all great souls, and he is also the shelter of material worlds. For one who is on the platform of Krishna consciousness, Vaikuntha or spiritual world is not far away. He does not live within the material world where there is danger at best. Hare Krishna.
Continue the next paragraph also.
Oh. In this way, Krishna consciousness was fully explained to Maharaj Parikshit by Shukdev Goswami as he recited to the king the statements and prayers of Lord Brahma. These descriptions of Lord Krishna's pastimes with his covered boys, his eating with them on the bank of Yamuna, and Lord Brahma's prayers unto him are all transcendental subject matters. Anyone who hears or chants them surely gets all the spiritual desires fulfilled. Thus, Krishna's childhood pastimes, his sporting with Balram, and the cowherd boys in Vrindavan were described. Hare Krishna.
So, the purpose of this whole life is how to engage in Krishna consciousness, how to serve Krishna. The Mahabhagavata, highly advanced devotee, he will not think about anything else. Just he want to immerse in the Krishna service. He always want to take the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet so that we can easily cross over this material nescience. This material world is addressed as Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. Nescience. So much problems. Every minute, padam yat vipadam. To cross over all these material obstacles, all these material problems, only the solution is take the shelter of lotus feet of Krishna so that all our problems will become insignificant, and then we can easily go back to his loka, Goloka Vrindavana. Here the last paragraph is telling that Falasruti, whoever heard or whoever read this chapter, what they will get? They will surely get the spiritual desires fulfilled. So, if you have any spiritual desire, it will get fulfilled by hearing this pastime. Yeah. So, from this pastime, what we can understand, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are all his part and parcel. Only the way by surrendering, by serving him, by taking shelter of his lotus feet, we can make him please and we can go back to Godhead. That is the conclusion of this chapter. Any questions, any comments, you can open up, we can discuss now.
All right. Prabhuji, you have explained so nicely, and it was a long chapter. This chapter was long.
Yes, it is elaborately explained before he asked forgiveness. He's trying to establish the supremacy of the Krishna by explaining Karunadaka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Mahavishnu, how he appeared and how he is insignificant. Sometimes we will also think like that. I have a good job or 2 cars or 2 houses or this much opulence. with that one will not surrender to Krishna. But if you compare with Krishna's opulence in this
Then
whole creation, this universe is one mustard seed. On that mustard seed, this America is one small dot. In that dot, our city is one minute particle. In that particle, we have one small house, either 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, or 4 bedroom house, and we are thinking like that. I am the hero, and we don't want to surrender. We are all getting puffed up. But if you understand the whole picture, oh, Krishna is this much, I'm after all this much, why should I get puffed up? I want to surrender. So this elaborative explanation is given that we should not get puffed up whatever the opulences and whatever the abilities that we have. Instead, we need to engage them in Krishna service so that Krishna will be pleased, and we can easily go back to Godhead.
thank you, Prabhuji. We are supposed to do Damodar Ashtakam.
Damodarastakam. So,
We do every day.
okay.
You can recite every 2 lines, and we will follow. We will repeat
Okay.
all we are repeating together.
Will
That's
do.
what we do every day.
नमामीश्वरं सच्चित् आनन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम्
नमामीश्वरं
Namaste.
सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम्
यशोदाभियोलुकालाद्दवमानं परामृष्टामत्यन्तो धृत्य गोप्या
Yashodabhyolukaladhavanam param tato drutya gopya.
हृदं तमोर्नेत्रायुग्मं रुजान्तं कराम्बोजयुग्मेन साटङ्कनेत्रम्
Rudantam
मुहुर्नेत्र युग्मं रुजन्तं
karamboja
कराम्बोजयुग्मेन सातङ्कनेत्रम्
मुहुश्वासकं पात्रीरेकाङ्ककाण्ठा स्थिताग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम्
muhusvasakam
श्वासकम्पत्रिरेकाङ्ककण्ठ
sthitagripam
स्थितग्रैवं
damodar
दामोदरं
bhaktivedam.
भक्तिभद्रम्
इति दृक्ष्वालीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम्
इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं
Swagosam
निमज्जन्त
nimanjanta
आप्याकयन्
apyapayantam.
तदीयेषिताग्नेषु भक्तैर्जितात्वं पुनः प्रेमातस्तं सातावृत्ति वन्दे
Tadiye
यदीयेषिताज्ञेषु भक्तैर्चित्रत्वं
bhakti
पुनः
Puna
प्रेमतस्तं
prematasam
सतावृत्ति
satavruti
वन्दे
vande.
वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चान्यवृणेऽहं वारिसादपीह
Varam deva
देवमोक्षं न
moksham vadimva
मोक्षावधिं वा न
nachani
चान्यं
neham
वृणेऽहं
varesad.
वरेशादपीह
इदं तेव पूर्णाता गोपालबालं सदा मे मनस्याविराष्टं किमन्ये
Idam te
निजन्ते
nata gopalam
मुखाम्भोजमत्यन्तनीलये
sada me manasya virastam kimanyehi.
इदं ते मुकाम्बोजम् अत्यन्तनीले रतां कुण्ठालैः स्निग्धा रक्तैश्च गोप्या
Idam
इदन्ते
te bhojam
मुखाम्भोजमत्यन्तनीलये
atyantanile
ऋतं
कुन्तले
कुन्तलैस्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्या
मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तादरां मे मनस्याविरास्तम् आलं लक्ष्यलभ्यै
मुहुशृम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्याविरास्ताम् अलं लक्ष्यलाभे
नमो देवा दामोदरानन्तविष्णो प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखाञ्जलाप्तिमग्नम्
नमो देव दामोदराय
दामोदरानन्दविष्णो प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालाब्धिमग्नम्
कृपादृष्टिवृष्याति दीनं बतानो गृहाणि क्षमामग्नं यद्यक्षिदृश्या
कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदीनं
कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यादिदीनं
समामाज्ञमेतदृश्य
कुबेरात्माजौ बद्धमृत्वैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभजौ कृतौ च
कुबेरात्मजो
वेरात्मजौ बद्धमूर्त्यैव यद्वत्
त्वया
त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च
तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वाकमे प्रयश्च न
तथा
मोक्षे ग्रहो मेस्ति दामोदरेह
तथा
तथा
प्रेम
प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकमे
भक्तामे
प्रयच्छा
प्रच
न
न मोक्षे
मोक्षे
ग्रहो
ग्रहो मेऽस्ति
दामोदरे
दामोदरेह
नमस्तेस्तु दाम्ने स्फुरादीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदराय ता विश्वस्य दाम्ने
नमस्ते
नमस्ते
सुतां
सुधाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिधाम्ने
पुरदीप्तिधाम्ने
त्वदीयोदराय
त्वदीयोदराय विश्वस्य धामने
नमो राधिकायै त्वादीया प्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्
नमो
नमो
राधिकाय
राधिकायै त्वदीया
त्वदीयाप्रियाय
प्रियायै
नमो
नमो
नन्तलीलाय
नन्दलीलाय
देवाय
देवाय तुभ्यम्
नमो राधिकायै त्वादीया प्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्
नमो
नमो
राधिकाय
राधिकायै त्वदीया
त्वदीयाय प्रियाय
प्रियायै
नमो
नमो
नन्तलीलाय
नन्दलीलाय
देवाय
देवाय
तुभ्यम्।
तुभ्यम्
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे
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 हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण
कृष्णा
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 हरे
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 हरे हरे राम हरे
हरे
राम
राम राम
राम राम
हरे
हरे हरे
जयो दामोदरा जयो दामोदरा जयो दामोदरा
जय दामोदरा
दामोदरा जय
जय दामोदरा
दामोदरा जय दामोदरा
श्री यशोदा दामोदर की
जय।
Thank you very much for joining today's session. So over to Simhi Sudars Prabhuji.
I think he's busy.
Okay, so let's chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra enthusiastically. and wind up the session. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
भगवान श्री कृष्ण परमात्मा की
Jai.
दामोदर मास की
Jai.
Jai.
कामवेद भक्तवृंद की
Jai.
गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि
Hare.
बोल।
Krishna, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.